The final Tears of the Kingdom trailer dropped, showcasing the bad boy Ganondorf in his first mainline 3D outing since Twilight Princess back in 2006. That doesn't sound right. I didn't learn my lesson from Breath of the Wild, and now I'm knee-deep in speculation for this one. Now, I'm not normally one to make videos about story theories, but I don't know, I wanted to try something new. Not to forget that I 1,000,000,000% called the pie-cutting knife of Deltarune, so clearly I can do a decent job, right? But really, I am almost positive that these theories will probably wind up being wrong. I'll really only be talking about one that I formed from the new trailer, specifically that Tears of the Kingdom is about Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf trying to end the cycle of reincarnation. Now sure, there's plenty of other theories to make about Zonai or Twilight returning, or even Fi coming back, what with the heavy Skyward Sword themes, and that she technically returned in Breath of the Wild. But the main focus here will mostly be on Zelda and G-Money. So we obviously haven't seen much on this game that releases in a month, but I think the new trailer showcases a little more than it lets on. Mainly that this character and this character are different, but the same. We obviously knew that dehydrated Ganondorf was a thing, and no surprise that he get rehydrated at some point. One thing I want to start with is that in the Japanese version, the final fight in Breath of the Wild has a line that essentially translates to, "This form was born from his obsessive refusal to give up on revival," instead of the English giving up on reincarnation and assumed this pure, enraged form. I'm gonna dive into that a bit because I think it fits better with Ganondorf, you know, still being around. Enter Link and Zelda in the current day. Perhaps an earthquake or something opens up the cavern as his seal weakens, and of course, when the two reincarnations of those wascally heroes shows up, his rage takes hold. Now, Ganon was sealed at the end of Breath of the Wild, but you know who might not have been? Demise. If you don't know, Demise is the real big bad retcon from Skyward Sword. The original evil that is the spirit Ganondorf keeps piggybacking akin to Zelda with Hylia. Tears of the Kingdom has already shown to have a big connection to Skyward Sword, and I'm thinking maybe some part of him remained in Dorf. Maybe it's pure rage, or maybe it's the draw of the Master Sword, but he awakens and he attacks. Possibly even attempting to possess Link as a new host compared to his current withered frame. But he's stopped by that accursed blade and his courageous power, leading to the infected arm and broken Master Sword. This tussle most likely causes the collapse, and fulfilling his duties as her knight, Link dives for Zelda, leaving behind the Master Sword. Now, this blade is Ganon's bane, but despite sealing away evil, it seems as though it can still reincarnate, since Ganondorf can return even with the Master Sword basically untouched. So maybe when sealing away the darkness, it's kind of multiplying within it, like just stacking again and again. Left alone with the sword and not having it used against him, decides maybe it can be used for him, and taps into that ancient darkness to revive Ganondorf, free him, and break the blade. I think there will essentially be one of two major themes with Tears of the Kingdom. The far more likely one being that this showcases that no matter what, the cycle will continue. Or the one that I kind of mentioned, where maybe it's about them trying to end the cycle forever. The logo of the game appears to be a sort of Ouroboros kind of thing, which is a symbol that can signify infinity, such as the cycle continuing. Or wholeness, perhaps as an ironic showcase of the wholeness they'd feel no longer being bound to the cycle of endless reincarnation. I think specifically Demise and Hylia will get a major focus in this title. This mysterious woman appears in the recent trailer, and a lot of speculation is that she is Hylia, which I think is true, but I also think she's Zelda. Essentially another case of this character and this character being different, but not. As you may have noticed, they are wearing the same apparel, and for the sake of narration, I'm just going to refer to her as Hylia from now on. Hylia showcases a Biden blast of golden light similar to Zelda's sealing power, and some of her moves in Age of Calamity, but that's a whole other timeline break, I guess. They both share this tear-shaped pendant, which appears to be half of a yin and yang sort of symbol, a concept of opposite but interconnected forces. The opposite of Zelda, of course, being Ganondorf, and the opposite of Hylia being Demise, both of whom are connected. This shot of Ganondorf in front of the Blood Moon gives off insane Demise vibes, especially with what appears to be the same scales Demise has all over his bodies on his sleeve. God, I hope we don't get the Imprisoned in this title. Anyway, I'm thinking that Ganondorf and Zelda will each have a possession form, this one being Ganondorf possessed by Demise, and this being Zelda possessed by Hylia. And now for the biggest amount of copium I've ever inhaled. I want to believe that this title will be about shattering the cycle strictly because of the mural. This thing teased me in Breath of the Wild, and I'm gonna let it tease me here too, because what if instead of Link and Zelda fighting Ganon, we are actually seeing Hylia and Ganondorf fighting Demise? It was always an odd detail that the hero was depicted with long red hair. Sure, in Tears of the Kingdom, Link gets longer hair and an outfit to match, but Ganondorf has a similar outfit. The symbol on the coat doesn't seem to match Link's, and we can't see Ganondorf's sleeve. This could also represent the jewelry he has on the opposite arm. Obviously, with murals, it's a little hard to tell, but still, Hylia or Zelda seem to be depicted accurately with clear skin and yellow hair showcased. So why would they jump to red for the hero unless their face was covered by, say, a red beard or something with long flowing red hair? Time for more cope. The specific showcase of Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom might actually be different than G-Money just shouting "'cause evil." Maybe these poses are less about intimidation and more of a struggle. Perhaps Ganondorf questions the cycle. Calamity Ganon was formed due to his obsession of reincarnating. So when that form fails, it might cause him to question things. Or going off the English translation, if it was him shedding his reincarnating ability, maybe this severs his tie to Demise and when revived might put him on a slightly different side. This could cause some kind of struggle and Demise wanting to assume full control. This scene might actually be Demise puppeting G-Money. He struggles and tries to fight back as shown as these subtle little shakes and pulls, and the shout and gem glow is actually the possession completing. Since the tear-shaped gem appears to be glowing, and there is a strong possibility that they are connected to the two major deities, Hylia and Demise. The figure talking to Zelda might wind up teaching her more about the cycle, and the two come to the conclusion that if they ever want to fully put an end to this and save the kingdom, they gotta cut off them gods. But that could be a stretch, because I can't think of a single game that has to do with fighting God. Or gods. Link's journey will probably wind up being find Zelda until they meet, and she relays the plan to end the cycle, requiring Link to snag X plot devices before the big bad showdown. Perhaps in the fight with Ganondorf, Link severs his tie to Demise and is gravely wounded in the process. So who steps up to the plate? G-Money. Like I said, this is all just speculation and almost entirely false, but I do think we'll be having a hard focus on Hylia and Demise in this title. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about this game, but I'm excited to find out about how wrong I am. I really hope there's a lot more story elements in this title compared to Breath of the Wild, and I really hope they do push against the concept of the cycle a bit. It's speculated that Breath of the Wild takes place in a timeline convergence, which seems like the perfect place to end the reincarnation cycle. There have been talks of Tears of the Kingdom being the last major Switch title as well, which, I don't know, maybe that kind of fits the narrative. I'm actually very excited to see what we do get, because I've seen other theories too, like maybe the game takes place in a past and present situation, maybe the floating isles actually has to do with the Sacred Realm. But outside of this, we're 100%ing getting 5 back, right? Because the Master Sword broke and we gotta fix that, and who helped craft the original, baby? But yeah, let me know how many things I missed, how wrong I am, or what you think is going on in the comments. And if you like this, maybe drop a sub. I don't have an end slate this time because I haven't had time to update mine and Cece's looking at it, so bye.